Coach, coming off of a very successful weekend at the MEC Championships, and the women's side, you capture the conference title, men's team runners-up. What was the experience like overall?
It was rewarding to say the least. I know the girls were super over the moon excited, and obviously I was too. First time the women's team has won indoor or outdoor conference title. So for them to come away with a victory was emotional to say the least. And we actually pulled a couple kids out towards the end because we had it by about 70 points, so we didn't want to run up the score too much. And from a medical side, we had a couple people that were a little banged up. So we did that, and the guys put on a heck of a fight versus Charleston. I think at one point they gapped us by about 10 to 15 points. We cut it down to 5, and one of their All-Americans and national qualifiers actually had to jump in his third race, which he had told us and a couple of guys that he was not going to run. Because it was getting pretty close. And we ended up losing by, I think, 20, which on paper was 15 to 20 points shorter or smaller than the gap that we had originally projected. So all in all, we had four times what we thought we were going to do. The guys outperformed themselves both days, and the girls just outperformed those days. So if we had one or two people that faltered, we had 3 or 4 more that were definitely in line to do what they did.
You mentioned first conference title on the women's side for indoor or outdoor track and field, and also how you kind of knew a little earlier than the end that they were going to capture the title. What was that moment like when you guys calculated and realized we won?
We knew going in. I think when we had our team meeting Thursday night in the hotel, we just said flood the finals. So Coach Duck, Coach Caleb, and we all kind of reiterated that thought is if we get people to finals that we know should be there by the time we get to that time on Saturday, then if we do what we're supposed to, then we'll be fine. I think Quantera Harrison had a little bit of slip up in the 60 hurdles, but other than that, everybody else stepped up. And it was when people score when they're not supposed to score, that always helps the issue, and that always, no matter what, whether it's guys or girls, that's the case. But I think we got down to the 200 or the 3K, and Coach Wisecarver came up to me and goes, "We're good." And that's always refreshing because then I could pull out Erman Jepletting, who had already run the mile and the 800 and won both of those events. So even with her not in the 3K, Valerie, who was, I think, 9th or 10th on the performance list, scored 3rd, which is what Erman was slated to do. So it's nice when you can do that, but come outdoors, that may not be the case, and we may have to be all hands on deck for all 21 events.
You mentioned runners stepping up and scoring when you didn't necessarily expect them to. What is it about an event like this? Because not just that, but also you had student athletes, personal bests, and school bests at an event like this. What is it about a conference championship that forces people to really step up?
I think it's just the atmosphere. Because when we go to the 5 or 6 events that we go previous, it's more individual. They're putting themselves on the line to get to the conference meet, so that when they get to the conference meet, the uniform matters no matter what meet it is. But when a conference title is on the line and school records and a lot of other extraneous factors that matters to the kids, it comes up and it shows at the conference meet. So you could just barely make it into to a race and score. I think Ian Ormsby was 17th on the 5K list, was not even slated to go until declarations, and he ends up 7th in a 30-second personal best. So it's little things like that come up at a championship meet that wouldn't come up during a regular season meet, so to speak.
You mentioned Erman earlier, her and Josh winning conference runners of the year. A lot of success cross-country, now indoor track and field success. What is it about those two that makes them so talented?
I would say the coaching, but I'll take that hat off. It's just them. Erman is a joy to have on the team from a personality standpoint, and she told us from the get-go, she's like, I want to help win the DMR and the 5 or the mile and the 800 were just kind of icing on the cake. And Josh, he and I had talked about a week prior to, is like the only chance we have left for him to qualify for nationals in the 5K was at conference. So we go, all I have to do is hit 51s for 16 and 2/3 laps, and he went 51s and ran 14:09. So beating a guy that had already run 14:06 in December. So Josh was 3rd on the list, I think, coming in and won by a couple seconds. So it's just an attitude, a mentality, and just a work ethic. And I'm not discounting anybody else because everybody else works as hard as they can. It's just they're just blessed with a few more things that are paramount to the events that they do.
You mentioned those two leading the way for both your teams. What about some other student athletes who stepped up and had some performances that you were really impressed by?
I think I could go to my notes here. We had, actually, I think I might. There was, in general, we took 65 kids, which is huge. We had 82 PRs out of those 65 kids, and we had school records set, on both sides. So I think Jacquees Tucker in the 400 bested her PR by 2 seconds, one in the prelims and one in the finals. So it's athletes like that maybe it's the track, it's just the setting, but to step up and do stuff like that is really cool to watch, especially in that, and knowing that we have one more championship coming up in 6 or 7 weeks, and it's at home. So I think we're more excited about hosting a PBC championship and hopefully raising another title at home.
You were named Women's Indoor Track and Field Coach of the Year in the MEC. What does that award mean to you?
That I got it from the commissioner and actually raised it and showed it to the team, and it's not mine. It's actually what I told the team. It's a representation of what the staff does on a daily basis and what the athletes do, because without the staff putting in tireless hours recruiting and practice, and without the athletes buying in and doing what is being asked, is like there is no Coach of the Year. So it's not really, they should rename it probably Staff of the Year, which is what I would do. But yeah, it's nice to be recognized by your peers for something like that, but in the end, it's the athletes and the staff that really do the work.
All right, Coach, congratulations, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.